What's going on, guys? BASSFZz here. And this video is going to be a precursor to an upcoming video series that's coming out. That's going to revolve around, you guessed it, attention whores. Now, this video is just going to be me laying down the foundation of attention whores and pretty much the criteria of what an attention whore is and what I'm going to be talking about in that whole video series. It's going to be me talking about this phenomenon that I notice throughout the internet. Although, as it seems, it's more highly concentrated on Instagram. Or at least there's a specific type of attention whore that is finally grounded onto Instagram. Or some people call them Insta thoughts or Insta whores and all of that jazz. And there is a lot of dark stuff that goes on Instagram that I can make a whole video about, but I'll play around with that idea. Anyway, attention whores. So, let's start off. When you start off every philosophical discussion, you always got to have yourselves a criteria. What is an attention whore? Well, the answer is pretty simple. An attention whore is any person, male or female, that desperately seeks the attention of other people. Okay? So, yes, men can also be attention whores. However, you find a lot more desperate attention-seeking strategies found in women, because women are usually more supersexual when they're out looking for male attention. However, attention whores, they can come in all different shapes and sizes, but primarily in the video series, we're focusing on female attention whores, because they are a detriment to our society, which you will see in the video series, right? So like I said, men and women can both be attention whores, but attention whore behavior is something you don't really see within women. And there's a reason for that. And let's talk about that one for a second. Right? Now, attention whores are born from a deficit. Alright? Attention whores are born when they are lacking value within themselves. And thus they do a lot of lewd things. Or they do something in order to obtain the attention that they never got as a child. Right, so let's go all the way back to children in their early development, right? And this is a really important thing to explain, because if you've ever spent time with children, right, you're gonna notice there's a difference between boys and girls, right? Now, human beings in general, we seek attention from each other. Men seek attention from women, and girls seek attention from boys. Sexual attention or attention relationships. So the act of seeking attention is not a bad thing at all. It is the desperate antics that one gets to obtain the attention that's terrible. So again, we all like attention, we all seek attention. There's nothing wrong with that. Right, so let's go back to children now. Because if you ever took care of children, if you ever had younger siblings, you're going to notice something funny about the way boys go about getting attention and the way girls go about getting attention, right? So if you look at boys, right, younger boys, males, when they seek attention, they're not just seeking people to look at them and say things to them. What they're really looking for is admiration. Boys look for people to admire them. Boys look for people to tell them that what they did or what they do matters, right? So whenever you see, whenever a kid comes up and says, hey, look at what I did, they're seeking attention. And that's actually the critical moment when an attention whore is going to be born or not, right? That is also the critical moment when a child's identity is also going to be formed. When they say, hey, look at what I did. So what boys seek is admiration. They want to know that what they did matters. That's why you see a lot of other guys who will go into sports, or guys who like to play video games. There's an objective standard of which you can be winners or losers, and why boys are more competitive than girls, right? Because you can ascend to higher levels and you can be appreciated. You can be admired for doing something and being important. Girls, on the other hand, they just want people to see them. They just want people to listen to them. They just want to know that they have value. Now, when it comes to women being attention whores, from what I've noticed, there's about 3 reasons why they do it. And some of these reasons overlap with each other or can work in tandem. So the first reason why I noticed a lot of girls are indeed attention whores is because they didn't get a lot of attention from their dad. And so they seek out male attention from all the people that's around them. And this is usually something that happens for years. So it's not really enough to just have your father in your house. He has to be an invested father and a good dad who gives you attention. Which is why I always find it strange when people ask me, what if the dad's a bad dad? Well, of course, bad dads aren't very good role models to have around. Right? So he has to be invested, and he has to care. right? Because girls, if they don't get that attention from their father figure, they're going to end up seeking it out from a bunch of other guys or a bunch of other males, right? If they have daddy issues. That's where the whole trope of daddy issues come from. You know, if a girl has problems with her dad, it's going to affect how she relates to other men. And a lot of these different attention whores definitely have daddy issues, or their dad never paying attention to them. That's something I noticed. A lot of the attention whores who do have dads in their life, if their dads don't pay attention, or if their dads just don't care about their frivolous behavior, then they get really desperate to have somebody care about them, right? So that's where gigantic deficit comes from, right? Now, I guess the second reason why I've noticed a lot of these attention whores, being attention whores, is that they don't feel pretty. They don't feel like they're worth anything because they've never been validated in their life, and they never had any skill or anything that they had be validated. So when they go on the internet and they post a picture of them looking pretty or them doing something great, and they notice they get lots of attention, even though they've never been validated their whole life, well, they kind of get hooked on it because they notice that sexual power that they have over them. I heard a couple of girls say that they like having the sexual power over men. That's why they post some of the pictures they post on Instagram, you know, post the videos they post on YouTube, because they can get a reaction, a positive reaction from different types of males on the internet, right? So if you've never been validated, or if you've been negatively validated your whole life for something, and you finally find a group of people who will validate you and tell you that you're great, you know, for doing whatever that you did, you know, if you look a particular way and, you know, over in your community people dislike it, but over here people love it, and then you're going to become a gigantic attention whore, because now you're trying to get all that attention that you never got for years coming to you, right? Now, the third reason why I notice a lot of women are attention whores, and again, it can be multiple, all these reasons can overlap, is that some of them understand that being pretty, being attractive is very powerful, and they understand that they have power over men, absolutely, and they use it to manipulate men. But what they also understand is that if they have that power, well then logically speaking, other women also have that power, right? And so since these women, are particularly girls, have low self-esteem, not because they don't know they're pretty, but because they put so much pressure on being physically attractive, so much so that they, again, you know, they don't have anything on the inside to validate them. They don't have any, you know, worth as a human being as they feel. Because all their life they were always told how pretty they were. People only focused on how pretty they were. So they grew up and they understood they have that power, they have that ability, but they never focused on having anything else. Or they never had anything else ever addressed or ever validated. And so for them, it's an arms race, basically. They have to get more attention, they have to get more power over these men, because they understand that it's fleeting, and they understand that other women also have that power too. Now, a couple of older videos I made said that models are the quintessential attention whores because their entire job is literally contingent upon them being able to garner attention. So it's really easy to say most models are attention whores, right? But interestingly enough, you know, a lot of girls on Instagram will translate and become models because of all that sexual attention that they get, and that's why you see a lot of people in the mainstream are absolutely attention whores. A lot of actors, a lot of singers, definitely, absolutely are attention whores. You know, it's very easy to point them out and call them out. They're very narcissistic, and they're very focused more on their image, you know. And so I'm gonna play. So here's the thing. You know, a lot of people probably gonna get upset with me. You know, if you're an atheist or an anti-theist, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. But I don't care. Unsubscribe button is down below if you want to leave. But I'm gonna play a clip from G. Craig Lewis. And one of his seminars called The Truth Behind Hip Hop Part 3, which is a very interesting video series I suggest you guys try to find online somewhere, you know, where he really sums it all, you know, pretty well. So I'm going to play that, and then I'm going to come back and close the video out.
This is the spirit called affectation. The spirit of affectation, that's the pretenders. Webster's defines affectation as a show, a pretense, or display. Behavior that is assumed rather than natural. Artificiality, a particular habit as of speech or dress adopted to give a false impression. Affectation, this is what God told me, y'all, and I'm going to try to give you this, and we're going to try to close this out. Affectation is planted into a person through some kind of deficit or traumatic experience that makes them feel the need to be proven with their actions or abilities. Rape, molestation, incest, abandonment, neglect, abuse, or talent affirmations, etc. These things make a person, when they happen to a person, the person feels a need to pretend that they're okay and to show others that they're okay. So rather than coming broken, are y'all listening to me? Rather than coming broken, they put on a false identity. So in their youth, and this usually happens with musicians and people that are talented or have talents, musicians and different ones, people clap and applaud while they're playing, but who they are, nobody affirms. So their talent is always affirmed, but who they are inside, internally, is never affirmed. Then if there's no man there who gives the identity and the affirmation to the child, then he begins to try to use his music or his talent or ability to seek affirmation. That's why right now, the best musicians, the best singers, the best actors, the best folks that's in the spotlight are always perverts. Always perverts. They're always perverted. You know why? Because they were affirmed on the outside, but they were never dealt with on the inside. Because people would rather use their talent and be entertained than dig into them for their true healing and deliverance.
So yeah, that was the foundation of attention-seeking people. And again, you know, although in the video series I will primarily focus on women being attention whores, attention-seeking behavior is not something that only happens in women. It happens in men, but men don't seek attention the same way girls do. Most men that I've noticed, when they are attention seekers, they seek it specifically from one girl, or they'll be sexually promiscuous like women too. So I guess the pickup artists and a lot of these sluts, they're, you know, two halves in the same hole, and they are seeking attention from the opposite sex to fill in a deficit that they have, you know. But when it comes to being on the internet and garnering a lot of attention for being physically attractive or doing something, that's something I see more primarily skewed towards women. I haven't seen with a lot of boys and a lot of men, and so that's why the video series will focus more on women. But again, attention-seeking behavior is something that happens in men and women, but a lot of men that I've noticed, when they do seek attention, they'll seek it from like either one girl, or it'll be strictly a bunch of sexual attention, like having sex with them, you know. And so there's a lot of nuance that comes to this topic, a lot of interesting things. Well, I think one important question that I have to address before we leave is, you know, can you post a bunch of really sexual and really lewd pictures online and still be confident and still respect yourself? And I think that's a very interesting question. And I guess, you know, that to answer that question really briefly, I would say, yeah, I guess technically, potentially speaking, I think you can, you know, really love yourself and have confidence. But then at the same time, I think it'd be really hard to separate that, to separate yourself from all the other attention whores who absolutely have low self-esteem. Right, you know. And I guess one good example, if you really want to look at a bunch of women who are seeking a whole bunch of sexual attention, just go to the Gone Wild section on Reddit and just look at the captions that they post on there. Like, just like don't even look at the pictures, you know. Just like put your hand, I know it'll be tempting, don't look at the pictures, put your hand, cover your pictures up, and just read the captions that a lot of the girls post. And you'll see that a lot of these women do have low self-esteem, and they are suffering from different deficits. So it is hard to say that someone with any level of confidence and self-esteem would do that when you have a gigantic community of girls who will literally say, I am depressed, or I'm a dirty slut and I want you to use me. Like, and they really do say that on the Gone Wild section on Reddit. So yeah. So interestingly enough, so there's that. So the video series is coming out pretty soon. And that being said, you know, I certainly hope you guys got something out of today's video. And if you didn't, man, go ahead and click the like button. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment box below. And as always, have a great day. See cool cats soon. Adios.